of mourning, loss, creativity, the development of the creative and relationship capacities in people, and blocks to those capacities in creativity and love, really. And so I work with people both on the couch as psychoanalytic patients, where they're tuned into their unconscious in dreams and fantasies, as well as and that helps them understand what conflicts they're experiencing that might be holding them back in life. And also I work with people sitting up where I sit across from them. It's more of an interpersonal dimension to it. But I always tuning in with using both my nonverbal capacities, like being a dancer, and my very verbal capacities, being a writer also. And so that's the main thing, is using my whole person to tune in and understand people at very different levels, going to the deeper levels of their unconscious motivations and how they defend against their deepest desires and needs, and help them open those up so they can speak, and help the inner child to speak and the emotional needs and desires within them to speak freely, and for them to express a whole range of a human experience, which includes rage and anger and hate, as well as love, loss, grief, and longing. And then I have groups. So I have a monthly Saturday group that I've had for over 29 years, where people, I do a guided visualization. I call it a meditative visualization. People close their eyes and breathe, and then I guide them through seeing who comes up from within, not directed by their head, but allow it to come from within, so it comes from their inner world, where they have their real emotional attachments. And someone comes up and they will speak while being silent and breathing deeply. Each person will be speaking to whoever comes up. And we go through this with two people coming up from within, and then they kind of locate themselves where they are in what they're most involved in feeling at the moment through speaking to these internal others. I also help them tune into what their stomach is saying, because the gut reaction is more the hunger, the rage, the hate, the anger, but then tune into their heart and see if they can, while breathing deeply, whether they can connect with the person they're speaking to within through their heart. And through the heart connection, they're moved into more feelings of love and loss and longing and grief. And so the monthly Saturday group, I call it a therapy group, but with the meditative visualization, but I also say it's a mourning and support group. So people dealing with losses of all kinds, not just actual bereavement, but separations and all kinds of losses through their lives. Opening the pain of that and not running from it, as well as regret, which I've written about. I have a book on anatomy of regret. That can be part of mourning too, dealing with the loss one creates by one's own self-sabotage or destructiveness in relationships, and becoming conscious of it rather than denying it or repressing or dissociating from it. Becoming conscious of one's regrets helps one not make the same mistakes over and over, and not keep self-sabotaging, but rather learn from it, and just learn from it as a mistake, the regret, and then therefore be able to move forward without repeating that over and over.